Somewhere in the world right now, a government is running out of money. Bills unpaid, currency collapsing, panic setting in. But not the United States, because the United States plays by a completely different set of rules. And once you see how those rules work, you can't unsee them. Right now, the US has over $34 trillion in debt. That number is so large it barely feels real. If you tried to count to it, it would take over 1 million years. So naturally, the question is simple. How does a country that owes this much money never run out? And more importantly, why hasn't it already collapsed? Here's where things start to get uncomfortable. Because the US doesn't operate like a household. It doesn't need to earn money before it spends it. It creates it. Not metaphorically, literally. Every time the government spends more than it collects in taxes, it issues something called Treasury bonds. Think of these as IOUs. Investors, banks, and even other countries buy them, trusting they'll be paid back later. But here's the twist. The US doesn't actually need to find the money to repay them in the traditional sense, because it controls the one thing everyone else needs, the dollar. And the dollar isn't just any currency. It's the backbone of the global system. Oil is priced in it. Trade is settled in it. Central banks store it as reserves. When countries do business, they often need dollars, even if the US isn't involved. So demand for dollars never really disappears, which means demand for US debt doesn't disappear either. Now imagine this. You're the only person in the world who can print the currency everyone else depends on. If you run out, you can just make more. That's exactly what the US can do. Through its central bank, the Federal Reserve, new money can be created digitally. No printing press required, just numbers added to a system. And that money can be used to buy government debt. So in a strange loop, the US can borrow in a currency it controls. And if needed, create more of that currency to sustain the system. It sounds like a cheat code, but it comes with a catch. Actually, several. Because while the US can't run out of money, it can absolutely destroy its value. If too much money is created too quickly, inflation rises, prices go up, purchasing power falls, and suddenly the system starts pushing back. We've seen glimpses of this. After massive spending during crises, inflation surged. Not instantly catastrophic, but enough to remind everyone that even this system has limits. So the real constraint isn't money, it's trust. As long as the world believes the dollar is stable, useful, and reliable, the system holds. But if that trust cracks, everything changes. Because here's the uncomfortable math. Foreign countries hold trillions in US debt. If they start to doubt its value, they can sell. If enough of them do it at once, demand drops. And when demand drops, the entire structure starts to shake.